Good morning. Friday morning here. It's Scott Cullen, the editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report. Time for Fridays with Frank. But before I turn it over to Frank and his guests, I want to encourage all of you who are watching today to like and also hit that subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. And now, Frank, please take it away this morning.
Hey, Scott, how you doing this morning?
Excellent.
Yes, we've got a very special guest, but before I do that, I would like to apologize to our audience. I'm very casually dressed this morning because when I'm done here, I'm going to go work out. So I'm saving myself some time, changing shirts and all that sort of good stuff. So you got Frank casual today. Any rate, we're very, very pleased to have a good friend, Andre D'Urbano from RISO, visiting with us. Good morning, Andre.
Good morning, Frank. It occurs to me you can do two segments now, formal with Frank and informal with Frank.
Most recently, I had an occasion to do an interview of one of the dealers. And it was an education process because the interview was about production print. And they referred to some very significant products that are made by RISO, which they're really very, very special type products. And the common perception among dealers for the most part, and yours truly included, I really don't know enough about your line, and I'm going to learn it, Andre. So why don't, for the benefit of Frank and the audience, tell us about the upper end of the RISO line and what those kind of products do provide that dealers are currently selling.
So the tough part about RISO is people hear the name and immediately think back to the history of RISO since its inception in the US in 1986 of the RISO duplicator. And everybody has seen or worked with a RISO of some form over the past 40 years or so. The reality is over the past 15 years, that duplicator was kind of like an offset press, and it suffered the same challenges the offset press does. That technology is designed for static print. And as the world went digital and the digital copier brought in variable data, brought in personalization, RISO had to convert from that static device to one that itself can generate personalized work and variable data. And that came in the form of Inkjet. RISO remained true to who we were, an ink-based company that uses no heat in the process. And we transitioned to the Inkjet device. We still have the duplicator. There are schools who are, those things last 15 years, and those schools love those devices. But in the production arena, and that's where our focus is today. There are entities out there, printing organizations like the ING Group, the people over at Printing United who put together the Inkjet Summit. Some of America's biggest and best print shops attend these events, and all they do is they talk Inkjet. We have units in probably half of those establishments. The RISOs that reside in those printing establishments are printing on average, our GL 9730 prints on average 430,000 copies per month, but some of them push it to 900,000 copies per month. We've got a customer in Atlanta. We've had the Valis product, right? The Valis is difficult to pronounce for many people, and we always tell them, if you can say Pegasus, you can say Valis. But we have a customer who's got 4 of those, and he's printing 1 million a day. That's 20 million impressions a month on RISO cut sheet inkjet. And a lot of dealers, of our RISO dealers, I know you were talking to E.O. Johnson recently. They put one of our Valis products into one of their key accounts in the Wisconsin area. Impact over the years has put out a few of those Valis devices. Impact, in fact, just last month, sold 3 of our regular RISO GL devices into a distribution center. 3. These are $100,000 devices. They sold 3 of them into the distribution center. Randy Coughlin there at Impact and his team, a fantastic job. So there are dealers that key in on this part of the market. And when we talk about, again, diversification, Scott and I had this conversation a couple of months ago for one of the articles he was writing. Is inkjet printing a form of diversification? When you go out and find a new path, a new opportunity, something that will generate new revenue, how is it not diversification? Okay. The thing is, it's an easy piece of diversification because you're using the same salespeople, more or less, certainly the same technicians. All they need is added knowledge to understand where it fits, what it does, how to position it properly. And when you look at the inkjet arena, Frank, it's either one or the other, right? You've got about 7 or 8 products in the $1 million range, 1 million plus. And then you've got RISO at the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Now there's a small middle piece there where the Valisys is, and you have RISO and Kyocera, who's doing very well in that space as well, okay? But that's just 2 manufacturers in that kind of middle zone. When the dust settles, an end user, a customer that is looking to spend $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 on inkjet equipment, what happens typically is they'll end up buying 3 or 4 RISOs. They love the redundancy. And these are accounts that will print 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 impressions per month per machine. Remember, this is inkjet. There's no heat. So it's not like you have to worry about the device overheating and needing to have that volume spread out over a 20-day period. A RISO inkjet will do 700,000 copies over the course of a week if it has to, right? Running multiple shifts. That's the nature, not just of RISO, but of inkjet in general. So this is a massive opportunity for the dealer community. It's a relatively new story, and every salesperson loves to talk about new stuff, new ideas. It's a great door opener for any salesperson out there looking to crack an account. There's positives all the way around. And traditional RISO dealers, like, again, the Impacts, the E.O. Johnsons, they've known this for years and have used RISO strategically as a tool. And that's the other part about RISO. It's not the device that you're going to sell 4 or 5 a month. Okay. This is something that as a salesperson, they may sell 1 or 2 a year. Sure. But in terms of, that's just 1 or 2 sales for a rep who does, a couple of hundred MFPs a year. In terms of commissions, the commissions they make on a RISO and the profit involved in inkjet sales, it could represent 10% of their annual income. So there's a lot to be said for RISO and this type of technology for salespeople and dealers.
Andre, that was great, and I'm so pleased that we had the opportunity to do this. So with that, I would say we've accomplished our mission for today. Thank you, Andre. We'll look forward to seeing you in Boston real soon.
At the BTA event, 100%. Looking forward to it.